Alright, Kiss Army, the new Kiss era starts now. Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiss Army Things podcast. My name is Xander. This is episode 78. So today is going to be a little bit different than I anticipated, but yet the exact same, if that makes any sense. So what I wanted to do was have Jeb with me here today, and he and I were going to kind of talk about this new Kiss era, this new virtual Kiss experience together, and kind of just unfold and look at this, openly and honestly and maturely, most importantly. But unfortunately, our schedules didn't quite line up as well, so it's just going to be me and you today. But hey, that's all right. I appreciate you being here. What will be the same, though, is using your guys' thoughts and concerns and comments about the new era as the basis of the episode. So in the last episode, I asked everybody to, leave your red flags and your green flags, your thoughts and your concerns, or, just your immediate opinions and reactions to the Kiss avatars, the new Kiss experience. And so I'm going to use those comments as a basis for this episode. I really appreciate you being here, but I do want to real quickly get to the Kiss spotlight. I do want to start off talking about the music. After all, that is the foundation of Kiss, regardless of anything. Even in this new era, the music will be, I think, the foundation. But anyway, so I want to talk about Ace's new song, because I'm pretty sure, I think it was out by the time we did the last episode, and I wanted to mention it then, but just got kind of sidetracked, and I never got around to it. But I've been listening to Ace's new song, 10,000 Volts, lately, and I absolutely love it. I'm sure most of you have already heard it, so if you haven't, check it out on his YouTube channel. There's a music video to go with it. Love the music video. Love the song. It's quintessential Ace, classic Ace. My first thought, and I don't want anybody to take this wrong, because this is not supposed to be, offensive or anything like that. This is just, my first thought was parts of that song actually kind of remind me of Out of This World from Monster, which was Tommy's song, to, Spaceman's song. And the reason why I say that is because I think I read somewhere where Tommy was talking about how that song was written about, finding a girl that you can just chill with and party with and have a good time. And, we'll take you out of this world. What's the, you and me, we like TNT, like the fuse that's inside of me. So those lyrics, they're really cool and everything. But Ace's song, his new one, 10,000 Volts, talks about, she hit me like 10,000 volts, must have been, lost in space, or whatever the lyrics are. And it just, makes me think of that song too. I think Ace is in a new relationship and, got out of an old relationship, thankfully, and is in a new relationship. And so it sounds kind of like, based in real life, which I like. It's kind of authentic in that way. So not only is it like musically quintessential Ace, but lyrically it's also, relative, I guess, and relevant to his life and reality. So it's more authentic in that way. I absolutely love that. I think if you're, a Kiss fan or an Ace fan, you're going to love it. I mean, Ace is, he's pretty consistent. He knows what he's good at, what his audience wants, what we want. And so, he delivered that absolutely. For me, the production on the song really stood out, because not that I'm some, audio engineer expert or anything like that, mixing and mastering, no. But for me, a couple of the last albums, Origins, Volume 1, Volume 2, and some of the, more recent sounding albums, just production-wise, they just weren't, I guess, all that great. And I know, as coming from somebody who loves Monster and Hot in the Shade, those albums, which are, not produced all that well either. But just for Ace and what I know Ace to be, like Anomaly had some really cool stuff on it. And so I felt like the production on this one, the value was just up. It feels more modern. It feels like Ace Frehley, but also 2020 or 2024, since his album's coming out next month. Or is it February? I think his album's coming out in February. Which I'm actually going to go see him. Daphne and I and Jeb are going to see Ace next month at Brown County Music Center. And the concert was supposed to take place last month, or this month. No, last month. Yeah. And anyway, the show was canceled last minute. Still no official word as to why the show was canceled. I know some folks said that maybe Ace had been sick or not feeling well. Somebody said that he had been complaining of his knee hurting at previous shows. So, who knows what it actually was. Maybe it was just to, build more support for the album and then play shows closer to the release of the album. I don't know. Maybe it was to get away from the whole, Kiss final show in December, and just save Ace and Ace only for after the fact and not have it. I don't know. There's probably a million different reasons why, but either way, the show is canceled and we will be, or postponed, I should say. The show is postponed for January, and I'm honestly excited because I think there's maybe a good chance that he'll be playing this song by then. I would love that. I would love to get to hear the new Ace Frehley song live before buying the album and hearing it on the album. Of course, I've heard it on YouTube and watched, the music video. But either way, I would love to hear the new Ace Frehley song live. And so maybe it's a blessing in disguise that the show was canceled or postponed and will be taking place, next year. Something to look forward to, for sure. But yeah, love the song, love the video. The video it's just a very straight ahead performance video, but it's super rock and roll. It's super modern in production value. But also, again, it's very Ace. I mean, I love the lightning strikes that they put in over the video. They did some really cool stuff with the video. And I think that Ace and, who is it? Steve, I think, somebody from Trickster who's working with Ace on this album, co-writing and, just kind of lending a helping hand. They seem like a really good duo. And I love what I hear so far. The chorus is very infectious. There's even a part where Ace, raises the vocal. She hit me like 10,000 volts. And of course, I can't sing, but the way he does it, he's singing, straight ahead, Ace, 10,000 volts. But then at another part, he, raises it up. It goes up an octave or up a key or whatever it is. Either way, it's just my ear noticed that. And it was really, really cool. So a lot of cool musical stuff happening on this song. The riff, the core riff is very crunchy, very, very Ace Frehley. So yeah, I love the song. If I had to do a Kiss song for the Kiss Spotlight or choose a Kiss song, I think I might choose I'm a Legend Tonight, because I was on my way to McDonald's in the middle of the night and had that song playing. And I definitely felt like a legend that night, going to McDonald's and getting I'm a legend tonight, a Big Mac with some fries. No, I'm just playing. That's don't even laugh at that. That's stupid. Anyway, so that's the Kiss Spotlight. I do want to go ahead and get into the main part of the episode now, because obviously the biggest topic in Kisstory right now, or in the Kiss world, the Kiss sphere, is the new Kiss avatar virtual Kiss experience that who knows when it's going to be rolled out. Maybe 2024 or 2025 if they have to tweak things, but whatever. Anyway, so Jeb and I wanted to originally talk about this together and just unfold it and use some of your guys' thoughts and opinions. I'm still going to do that here today. And so what I did was I just copied some of the comments that stood out to me immediately and just put them in a list. And so I'm going to be reading some of these comments and just reflecting on them in the moment. We'll talk about them, and you guys can also leave me your thoughts again on what you guys think, and we'll just tackle this together, because obviously it's very, very odd in terms of what they're doing, what they plan on doing. There's still some unknowns. There's still some things that we don't even know about. There actually is a 30-minute video that the official Kiss YouTube channel uploaded where Gina Paul talked with the guys from ILM. I still have not watched that, and it's not because I don't want to. As a matter of fact, I'm dying to do it. But if I do that, I'm going to need some time. I think it's a 30-minute video. It's going to be an hour experience at least for me, just to soak it all in and really absorb what's going on. So eventually Daphne and I will get around to watching that. But for right now, we're just going off raw thoughts. We're just going off of, pure, instant reactions, instant thoughts. Again, red flags and green flags, what we like, what we don't like, what we want to see, what we don't want to see, just anything that you guys have to say, we're just going to look at it. So I'm going to start reading some comments. First, I'm going to get a sip of this delicious Moneybag soda. I'm going to need something to keep me refreshed throughout this episode. So here we go. The first comment says, at the moment, the avatars don't impress me, but I'm interested in what they're going to do with them and how they evolve. So I think that's pretty valid. All of these are valid. That's not what I'm saying. That's a valid position to be in. I think a lot of Kiss fans feel that way, where they're just kind of cautiously optimistic, I think. And even I myself, because even though I do seem like a very, overly positive Kiss fan. Oh, Kiss can do no wrong. Oh, they're amazing. That's not... they are amazing, but that's not, they're not 100% perfect, and, not everything they do is just super awesome and, amazing, but I do try to, because Kiss does, it's my favorite music, it's my favorite, show, it's my favorite, merchandise or thing to collect, whatever. I love the image. I love the sound. I love the different, the diversity and the catalog. There's so many scratches, it scratches a lot of itches, Kiss does. And so that's what it does for me. And that's why I tend to have a more positive, outlook on things, because Kiss is so positive to me that, as long as I just, want to be entertained and, I like what I see. Like, for instance, when Tommy Thayer first came into the band, that was a big moment. Even at the age of, like, 7 or 8, I knew that. And the only thing I could do was, look at that and say, well, is this still Kiss? It's a big change, but is it still Kiss? Does it still look like Kiss? Does it still sound like Kiss? Does it still feel like Kiss? And I've pretty much used that criteria over the years to kind of decide, what I think or what I feel, and or at least to kind of rationalize it and justify it. So I do think that a lot of fans are in the same boat, where maybe it's not as up to snuff yet visually, graphic wise, but it will evolve and it will change and it will get better. And I'm going to say this right now: they really need to get a handle on these faces. Have you ever seen Gene and Paul look so deadpan, so blankly staring, no expression? I mean, Peter Nace, Tommy and Eric, maybe not so much, showing much expression or whatever, but Gene and Paul are always showing some level of emotion, some expression, and, striking some pose. And so having these 4 faces just looking plainly in the camera, or even past the camera, past the viewer, just looking dead into space is not a good look. That's not very Kiss. They are well rendered. They're well lit. I mean, that stuff is it's ILM, for crying out loud. Come on. So, but as far as just the actual look on their faces, I mean, I think it would look way better to all fans if Gene maybe had some smirk on his face, or maybe was flashing his tongue, or just doing that classic, Gene, kind of wide-eyed, whatever expression. And Paul definitely needs to be winking or pouting his lips. I mean, he needs to have that defined jawline, you know what I'm saying? And we just don't have that right now. And so I think, again, they're well sculpted, they're well rendered. Gene's face looks a little puffy, but I mean, Tommy's is pretty spot on. But either way, they need to get a handle on the expressions, and they need to do it quick, because they've actually gone ahead and uploaded that image of the band, the avatars, as the image on Spotify, which I thought was a pretty big move. I mean, obviously, if you're going to push this, you got to push it. If you're going to commit, you need to commit. Anything less is not going to work. So, but it's still a bold move to take down the image of actual Gene and Paul. The guys who have been there 50 years. Tommy and Eric, Peter Nace, whoever you have up there. It has to be at least Gene and Paul, at least the real images. And right now, they've gone ahead and just changed it completely to the avatars. And so, I mean, again, that's fine as long as it looks good. And right now, these look okay, but it's way too uncanny. It's way too lifeless. And Kiss is not lifeless. Kiss is the opposite, full of life, right? Full of emotion and expression. So hopefully soon they get a handle on this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they are listening attentively. And by they, I mean Kiss or ILM or Lucasfilm or whatever, small social media team they have, whatever. Somebody is probably monitoring this. I did notice that they uploaded the first video. One of the first videos I saw was a flipped image of Paul. So the Star Child had the star on the wrong eye, and it was absolutely infuriating. I mean, at some point, it's like, dude, chill out. It's Paul, it's the Star Child, it's Kiss. Get over it. But no, I will not let it go, and I will not get over it, because if you're going to do this and pass this off as the new Kiss or the new Kiss experience, it has to be as authentic as possible. It has to look as legit as possible. That's why I have a problem with the blank expressions. That would never happen. Same here. So hopefully these things will get, and they will. I'm sure they will get remedied. It's a little too early, but again, these are just my immediate thoughts. They did actually flip that image of Paul Starr, so that is correct. I left a comment saying, this is infuriating. I didn't say that, but I said, this is a problem. It needs to be fixed. And I even used an angry emoji. That's how you know I'm serious. I used an angry emoji. No, anyway, but I was serious. I was like, it needs to be fixed. And the next day, they posted a video that said, even the Star Child's star is evolving or whatever, and they've had a flipped image. Now, I'm not saying that I was the one that did that and you all should be no, that's not what I'm saying, but I think I read some other comments where people were saying that too. And so, I mean, again, it did get fixed. So all the videos I see now are flipped, they're correct, the star's on the right eye, and so that's good. I mean, so if they are listening, hopefully they keep listening and they're willing to, and able to filter out the overtly negative and hateful comments from the ones that are like more critiquing, like the ones here. The ones here I'm trying to make are, I'm trying to be progressive with this and actually like push this forward in the right direction, as opposed to just taking something off the wall, ripping it in half, and then stomping on the floor. You know what I mean? So that's my approach. But anyway, I want to get to some of this because otherwise we're going to be here forever. So the next comment I decided to look at here says, what I don't understand about these avatars is what music will they be miming to? Old concerts or studio? And where exactly will they even be having these virtual concerts? So as a two-parter, first part of the question, what music will they be miming to? Old concerts or studio? I mean, I don't know. I think it's too early to say, but given what we saw from the reveal at Madison Square Garden, it looks like we're going to be seeing some studio songs being played by the virtual Kiss or whatever it is, because they played God Gave Rock and Roll to You as virtual Kiss. Now, I will stop here and say that perhaps it would have been a lot cooler and by cooler I mean a lot more awesome and a lot more like wow factor, and maybe a little bit more accepted by the Kiss Army, especially it being the first time we're seeing it. I think it would have been more accepted and maybe more cool to see if instead of Kiss going off stage and then showing the avatars playing God Gave Rock and Roll to You, what if they added God Gave Rock and Roll to You in the set and Kiss played it live with that video of the avatars on the screen? That way there's still a connection. Like, here's the demon on stage, and then I'm seeing the demon breathe fire in the video, and you're seeing them on stage playing the song, but you're seeing the avatars flying in space, levitating, but also singing the songs and playing it themselves. Perhaps that would have been cool to see Kiss playing with their avatars, and then once Kiss exits stage, then you see the more, big reveal, the marketing and the big, commercial reveal. I don't know. I mean, here I am doing the what if thing, and that's not what I usually do. But perhaps it would have been more cool to do it that way. But I don't know. Anyway, I'll just stick to this right here. It seems like, at least for now, what we're going to be seeing is studio songs, which I like because, I mean, God Gave Rock and Roll to You is, yes, the current lineup has played it. They played it, I think, on the Sonic Boom Over Europe tour in 2010, and then even back on the Rock the Nation tour, they played it. So, of course, goes back to, Alive 3, which was, of course, on Revenge. So they have played the song, and even the current lineup has played the song. But it's been several tours, and a lot of complaints from fans have been, stale set lists or, not a lot of surprises or whatever. So perhaps with this new era, this new virtual Kiss experience, we're going to see some of these songs that we haven't heard in a while, live or otherwise, in a new way, and with new life being breathed into it. I would like to see that because, seeing, current Kiss as avatars playing a Revenge song was really cool. Now, I know that Tommy wasn't on the album and it was Bruce, and maybe it should be Bruce. I'm not going to get into that argument. That's not what I'm at. That's not what I'm talking about. I've seen Tommy play it. That's fine with me. I'm not here to get into the whole, kind of like earlier with when I made the, Ace and Tommy reference about the songs. I in no way, shape, or form was insinuating that Ace bit that song off of Tommy and, Ace somehow stole that song. That's not at all what I'm saying. And for me, in my mind, it's all just Kiss, okay? It's all just Kiss and Kiss members, and they may have their drama and their discrepancies, and you may have your discrepancies, but for me, it's all just Kiss, right? It's the Avengers, it's whatever. They're a band, they're a group, and so for me, it's whatever. Now, I do think, even though we may see some studio stuff, I will say this. I was on YouTube and saw a video that somebody posted where they took some of the footage of the avatars and even some of the footage from the Empire State Building when it was being lit up as Kiss, and they put that to God Gave Rock and Roll to You, but it was live from Alive 3. And I almost didn't catch it at first because I was just kind of, watching the avatars and, watching how this person edited it together with the Empire State Building. And then only at one point did I realize, wait a minute, this is not the studio version that I heard from the Garden Show. This is from Alive 3. And so that made me think, oh, whoa, now that would be cool to bring some of those, some of those live songs that we all know and love and, bring those to life, as it were. I don't know. Again, I'm just spitballing here, and anything's possible. This person did mention old concerts. Will they be minding to old concerts or studio? I do believe they use reference for the actual animation of these avatars, and as Kiss, I think they use reference footage from shows on this End of the Road tour. So perhaps I don't know. Maybe it would be cool to maybe see Kiss perform a 3D concert of live songs. Would it be all of Alive with a live Kiss? I don't know. Would it be? I don't know. Again, this is all just kind of speculation, but for right now, it seems like what will probably happen is we're going to get animated music videos for studio Kiss songs. Because to me, it sounded like, we only got a snippet of it, but it wouldn't be surprising to me if God Gave Rock and Roll to You is the song that they have an animated video for right now. And they only showed us pieces of it. Perhaps that'll be the first single, whatever, that gets released in 2024, is we get a full-length, full version of God Gave Rock and Roll to You, except it's with the Avatar Kiss and it's in its full form. That would be interesting. And so if they're going to do that, that could be really cool, because there's a handful of songs I know Kiss fans would love to hear live, so to speak. Not live because it won't be people playing it live, but going to a Kiss setting and hearing those songs. There's lots of songs that Kiss just haven't played and maybe can't play. You can only play so many songs in a 2-hour set, but if you're going to do a bunch of rotating and virtual experience, there's some wiggle room there. So it'll be interesting to see what they do as far as the music and the choices that they make. Third comment we have is thoughts on the avatars. It isn't really my thing, but I would pay the price of a movie ticket to go see it, but probably not concert price. So hopefully they do something with the avatars outside North America. However, I do think this concept could work really well at the new Vegas Sphere. So I do agree with you on a couple things there about the price. I think the price point is going to be the deciding factor on whether or not you see me going to one of these things, because being optimistic as I am, I would love to go see this virtual Kiss experience and see my favorite band and hear my favorite songs and see my favorite superheroes, whatever, in a way I've never seen before, in a way that nobody's ever seen before. No other band has done besides, the ABBA experience, which it seems like they're going to take the ABBA experience and make this like its own thing, like times 10. They're going to Kissify it, if you will. And so that to me is really, really exciting. But I can see where, the prices for these things are going to be through the roof. And I'll just be honest. I mean, when we saw our first show on this End of the Road tour in Louisville, we paid $350 for one ticket a piece. And that's a lot of money, $350 for one ticket. I mean, we were right there, dead center on the floor, Kiss in all their glory. So, I mean, we definitely didn't regret it. But when I think about, man, can I pay that much? Could fans pay, some people paid, $500, $1,000 to do the meet and greet, sit in front row. It's like, how high are these prices going to go? There's no way that I can pay that much for this virtual experience. It's just not going to be viable. But on the other hand, though, a movie price, a ticket price, that's just too low. There's no way they're going to charge only $8, $9 for this. I mean, it's not just a flat 2D image on a screen. This is evidently going to be a 3D live interactive, whether it's holograms or, I don't know what it's going to be. We haven't seen it yet, but it's going to be, it seems like a live, virtual 3D projected experience. And so that does bring some value. Now, is it the same as having actual Gene and Paul on stage in the flesh? No, it doesn't. And if they're thinking it does, they're kidding themselves. This is not meant to be, at least for me, this is not meant to be literal Kiss 2.0. This is meant to be, how do we keep the Kiss experience going and alive for as long as possible? Humans, obviously, we're finite, we're mortals. So how do we keep, and Gene and Paul have done a really good job over the last 50 years at, maintaining this band, maintaining this brand, building and maintaining this legacy. And Eric and Tommy are to be thanked too, because they're the ones, Gene and Paul can't play drums and lead guitar as well as, playing bass rhythm and doing lead vocals and flying across the stage while shooting rockets. That's not going to happen, you know what I mean? So it takes a village and it takes a team effort, but Gene and Paul have been there the whole time, driving this. And so now we have new people behind it, folks from ILM and Lucasfilm, and, we'll see how they handle it. But I definitely can see the price being more than a movie ticket. Being realistic, I don't know, because you got to think about there's going to be taxes and fees. There's always fees for, everything, for nonsense. So I guess honestly for me, I couldn't see myself paying more than $100 for this. I get that it's new, it's cutting edge, it's never been done before in the way that we're going to see it. So obviously those things are going to bring interest and bring demand and all that. But it's not the real Kiss. It's the Kiss experience. And also you got to think about travel, food, if you're going to be staying at a hotel. I mean, I don't know where these things are going to be taking place at. So as far as the just actual, drinks and, food, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So I think that they should definitely keep it price conscious. Otherwise, it's going to appeal to only a certain crowd. And it's not going to be the crowd like me where it's like, hey, I've been a lifelong Kiss fan, but I wasn't around back in the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s. So, I missed out on literally the first half of history, the first 25 years. I've been here the last 25 years, but that's not enough. So I want to go see Kiss. Well, if I can't afford it, I'm not going to, break the bank like I do and like I have for Kiss as we know it. I saw 9 shows on this End of the Road tour, paying anywhere from $100 to, $350 for a ticket. And those $100 tickets were nosebleeds, and so it is what it is. But I did that because I'm a Kiss fan and I want to see Kiss. This is something where you go and you see it once, and unless they change it and update it and make it more modern like Kiss, they get new stages, they haven't had new costumes, and they'll take Detroit Rock City from the encore, make it the opener, and they'll take this song and move it here, and they'll do different things to keep it fresh, even though some fans think it's just the exact same. It's not. They do different things to change it. The Freedom to Rock tour was not the same as the 4th anniversary tour, which was not the same as this End of the Road tour. No tour was like this End of the Road tour, you know what I mean? As far as the stage and the production and all that. So those things, definitely do come into play. So unless the ticket prices are appropriate, they're probably just going to appeal to the upper middle class people who are, some of the richer people who have money to burn. Oh yeah, I'll go see the new Kiss experience just to say I saw it, and then they go, oh yeah, cool, and then they never go again. I don't know. I would like to think that this would be available to all Kiss fans, Kiss fans who are able to pay the big bucks and get the big full experience. People who maybe, can't shell that kind of money out, but still want to have a seat and get in the door and actually see it. So hopefully, the prices are kept appropriately. We'll see. We have a comment that says, I'm honestly so excited for the avatars. Kiss has always been a larger-than-life band of rock and roll superheroes, and I love that they're embracing that more than they ever have before. In my opinion, they truly are an ageless band, and this kind of feels so right for them. I definitely think that the younger generation, including myself, will embrace this almost as the new entity outside of the real band. Everything about it feels super fresh, rather than being based in the nostalgia of past eras. So, yeah, larger-than-life rock band. I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing right now, is them take the larger-than-life image that we all know and love, and they're just going to build on that and continue on that. I mean, I liked how in the video package that we saw at Madison Square Garden, you saw Gene with fire from the eyes and fire from the mouth, no torch, no kerosene full of, big, mouth full of kerosene shooting on a flame sword. No, it's as if the demon can really breathe fire, kind of like in the Kiss, the Scooby-Doo Kiss rock and roll mystery video or movie. That was super cool. So I like how they're taking Kiss seriously as musicians, showing them playing the guitar, showing them singing and playing those, virtual drums or whatever they were. But you're also seeing them fly. You're seeing them breathe fire. It's literally superhero, rock and roll, the best of both put into one. And so I know for some fans it's kind of cheesy, kind of hokey. But to me, it's just like taking, the comic book from '77 and bringing that to life. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I see it. You had the comic book in '77 with superhero rock and roll Kiss, and now in 2023, we have the means to make that image in your head a real life experience. So, keeping it in that context, I'm very excited about all this, and maybe that is because he said the younger generation seems to embrace this more. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I do think there are a lot of old school fans that are down for this too. We will just have to wait and see as far as the actual final product. But I want to get to this one. This comment here. It says, when we first saw the avatars at the end of the concert, my first thought was, is this a Kiss Guitar Hero? Which would be really cool. But since then, I've still not made up my mind 100%. But I do think it looks really cool, and I will go see it at least once before I make my mind up fully. Also, I'm not sure if it's just me, but from what I've seen online, it seems to be that the younger side of the Kiss Army, I'm 28, are more into it than the older fans. Maybe it's because we've grown up around technology, so we're more open to it, or if it's just what I've seen. So your Kiss Guitar Hero comment was the reason why I included this, because it was a shame, it was a sin that they did not have a Kiss Guitar Hero game at the height of Kiss Guitar Hero or Guitar Hero Mania. Metallica did, AC/DC had Rock Band, the Beatles had Rock Band, Van Halen had their own Guitar Hero, and the fact that Kiss didn't say, even if it was a Guitar Hero, the fact that Kiss didn't say, we should have our own music-based game with Kiss, and maybe it's like an action superhero game where the music is like every note is a punch or a strike or whatever it is. You play the music and the characters. I'm not sure, but it was just so bizarre and so crazy. I kept waiting for it to happen because look, I have two Gene Simmons axe-based controllers for Guitar Hero Rock Band right here. I have the AG Riffmaster to my left with the Guitar Hero guitar strap, with plenty of other. I got two Love Gun faceplates for the Guitar Hero guitar right here, with plenty of other Guitar Hero Rock Band memorabilia or merchandise, whatever, strewn around. So the fact that they got that close to it, having all the accessories, the guitars, and not the actual game itself. Yes, it would have been a lot of money. It would have been very niche. But, they were putting very little money into those games anyway. Those graphics were not great. They didn't need to be. It was more about, playing the song and watching the notes, and then everything else was kind of, peripheral. So, yeah, it was bizarre that they never did a Kiss music-based video game. And so, yeah, if they did that, that would be absolutely incredible. I would love to have a new, modern Kiss video game. They did the Psycho Circus Nightmare Child, but that was, with some company. That was for the Sega Dreamcast. Is anybody still playing Sega Dreamcast? Unless you're some hardcore retro gamer. No, you're not. You know what I mean? So there's a reason why the Sega isn't around anymore, the Dreamcast, because it's, it wasn't PlayStation. It was ported to the PlayStation, I believe. I know Kiss Pinball was ported to PlayStation. Oh, no. Nightmare Child was ported to the PC. That's what it was. Pinball was also PC, but it was ported to PlayStation. So anyway, if there was a PS5, Xbox One, whatever, Nintendo Switch, Kiss video game, whether it's an action video game, whether it's open world or it's a music-based game like Guitar Hero, I don't care. You know what I mean? As long as it's done really well and it honors Kiss, the image, the legacy, the members, and that to me would be really cool. I'm not a hardcore gamer myself. I do game a little bit. This takes up a lot of my time, both Kiss and the podcast, so I don't really get much out of gaming anymore. It's not quite as productive as it used to be in my mind, but you better believe if they did another a Kiss video game that I would be buying that and playing it on the channel, and we would all just be, maybe playing online too, meeting some of you guys online, and we'll all play together. How cool would that be? Playing, Kiss video game, hearing Kiss's music in the background of the video game. Could be fun. Could be fun. But anyway, yes. So let's see, what else do we have? The younger side of the Kiss Army. I'm also 28 or more into it. Maybe it's because we've grown around technology. I don't know. Maybe. I think it's possible, but I don't know if technology has anything to do with it as far as our perception of it. Perhaps it does, but I do see a lot of younger fans getting on board with this, and that to me is really cool because I think it's the younger fans that are going to continue to spend their money. And little kids as well. If little kids, mommy, daddy, I want to go. Mom and dad might be more inclined to take their kid and buy them a ticket, also their ticket and their spouse a ticket or their friends a ticket. Whoever it is. I think the younger people, the teens, the young adults, and especially the children, yes, are going to be a driving audience because that's how it always is. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Star Wars. I mean, how many adults do you see complaining, myself included, about Star Wars, modern Star Wars, and it's not the originals, it's not the prequels, it's like the kids are too busy enjoying it. You know what I mean? Because that's who it's marketed for. It's marketed for the kids. The original Star Wars was for kids. The prequels were for kids. Now that I'm an adult, I don't get it. Like all the plot holes when I was a kid didn't matter, didn't make sense, didn't care. Now it's all I see, and so it's it's just a matter of perspective, and I guess age does in some way maybe have something to do with it. But I do like seeing some of the younger fans getting involved, and hopefully the kids who just saw their first Kiss concert on this last tour, they'll want to continue on the experience and continue to go see Kiss. So I don't know, we'll see. But very good comment. These are all really great comments so far. This one says, my thoughts about the new era is I had assumed they would use younger versions of themselves and would use the original lineup as the image moving forward. So totally valid. I can see why you would think that. Obviously, 70s Kiss is goated. I mean, 70s Kiss is OG Kiss, classic Kiss, quintessential Kiss. I mean, that's when Kiss was at their most popular. That's when Kiss was at their most mainstream. Everything was new. They were young, they were fierce, they were hungry. And so, yes, it does seem, not that far off of a thought to say, hey, well, if they're going to immortalize Kiss, why not immortalize the younger versions? Why not immortalize the version that most core Kiss audiences will know? And I think it has to do with the fact that, the current lineup, oh my gosh, I can't even say the current lineup anymore. Oh man, I can't even say Tommy and Eric are the current Kiss anymore. Okay, I don't know. I guess I gotta call it Millennium Kiss now. I think that's what Pasquale called it. 2000s Kiss, 21st Century Kiss, Millennium Kiss. It's not current Kiss anymore. Oh boy, that's odd. So, okay. So, because Tommy and Eric Kiss, it seemed to me like I'm just going to say current four for now, okay? Gene, Paul, Eric, and Tommy all got together and were photo scanned head to toe, top to bottom, by ILM. And basically, those images were taken and were made into 3D models, and they used their performance capture, their performance as, the driving force behind these characters. And so because of that, you are going to preserve the modern Kiss as we've known Kiss. I don't see the original lineup. I don't see Peter and Ace coming in and getting their full bodies photo scanned for 4 hours or whatever, just sitting there getting photos from every angle, every position and pose, and then getting up there playing the songs and mimicking the characters and pretending to be. I just don't see Peter and Ace getting involved in this. I don't see Gene and Paul getting Peter and Ace involved in this. I think, Tommy and Eric are probably more up to this, and Gene and Paul are probably more up to having them do it anyway. And because of that, yeah, you are going to preserve, the Tommy and Eric. Now, I will say, Eric, the Catman, this Avatar Catman, does not look like Eric Singer to me. Tommy looks, the Avatar for the Spaceman looks very similar to Tommy, as we know the Spaceman. Gene's is similar but a little too puffy, and then Paul's is kind of like Paul's but not enough definition in the face. Again, there's no pose, there's no life. It's like Paul Stanley if he were lying in his coffin, which I don't want to even think about that. But anyway, so it does make sense that they would use Tommy and Eric's Kiss and not the original lineup, even though, I mean, clearly, yes, it's not that far off of a thought to think, well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be 70s Kiss because that's, Kiss as we know them, right? Kiss Alive, Destroyer, Love Gun, Kiss Alive 2, I mean, the first album, for crying out loud, Dynasty. All those album covers are, top tier Kiss. So, but because Kiss has been Eric and Tommy for the last 20 years, the band gets along really well. Tommy and Eric are, very, they're team players, man. They're okay. They're willing to, go along with Gene and Paul for the ride to see where Kiss takes them. And so I think, Tommy and Eric are more likely to be enthusiastic about this than Peter and Ace. I just don't see Peter and Ace coming in and getting scanned and being a part of this, unfortunately. Now, that could change. Maybe in the future, once this thing gets going, Gene and Paul, like, hey, Peter, Ace, why don't you guys come in? We don't even got to be there. You guys just come in, and the team, the ILM team, they'll, set you guys up. You guys do what you do, and just, be a part of it for your guys' sake. You'll get paid to show up and, paid for your time, paid for your likeness, whatever it is. Maybe that's possible in the future. But, yeah, as for right now, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that it's just going to be Tommy and Eric. But I do see where you're coming from. I'm going to move on to this comment now. It says, having been a fan since 1979, I'm very excited about the new era. The ABBA was extremely successful in Europe, with over 2 million people seeing the show at the arena they built just for the show. Also, ABBA recorded new music for the show. So having been a fan since 1979, that is super cool, man. First of all, the fact that a fan from 1979 would listen to me talk about Kiss, this whole time is fantastic. So thank you to every Kiss fan from the 70s. I mean, thank you to every Kiss fan of all ages and all eras. But just for right now, these moments, thank you to the 70s Kiss Army, the OGs, the veterans, for being here and for joining and for listening to me, rant about Kiss. I hope I don't sound too preachy. I don't ever want to tell anybody what to think. I just want to, because we are one after all, just going to talk about this together. But I like how this person, been a fan from 79, very excited about the new era. And yes, it was very successful. We'll see how successful Kiss's is. I mean, I'm sure it will be successful because it is cutting edge technology. It is fast. There are some folks who are not for it, very dismissive. I think there's even more people who are going to be very excited and at least open-minded enough to go once, try it out, be optimistic. So I have no doubt that it will be successful initially. But for how long, I think is the key. If they're willing to, evolve and grow and change, I mean, they're going to have to, update this every few years. I mean, let's say, Kiss toured on the End of the Road tour for what 4 years or something like that. So let's say this virtual Kiss experience, once it rolls out, for 4 years there's different destinations you can go see it, and then after those 4 years of up, there's a year where we don't really hear anything, and then all of a sudden the next year we have new songs and new graphics and way more enhanced, because it's just going to keep getting better. If the resolution was good for ABBA, it's only going to be even better for Kiss. And then once they tweak that, it's only going to get better from there too. So, but as long as they're willing to keep nurturing this and keep growing and keep adding and keep making it more state-of-the-art, more fresh, then I think it will stay relevant and stay successful. The second they just keep doing the same thing over and over, that's it. It's over. Again, kind of like Kiss. People say that Kiss does the exact... Go look at set lists. Go look at the set list from the Hottest Show on Earth versus a set from The Tour versus Freedom to Rock versus this current End of the Road tour. Yes, you're still going to see Love Guns and Black Diamonds, but you're going to see Crazy Nights and I'm an Animal on the Hottest Show on Earth tour. You're going to see... we'll see, what was the one on The Tour? I think it was War Machine, which that was, obviously been played now, but Hell or Hallelujah was in the set list for The Tour. And then you have Heaven's on Fire and Hide Your Heart for the... I'm not going to keep going. You get what I'm saying, okay? The set list does change regardless of what some people online say, and rightfully so. You can't just... They did Sweet Pain, or not Sweet Pain, excuse me, Flaming Youth on the Kiss World Tour. They brought back Say Yeah. All those things. Making Love was added in for the last Final 50. That stuff is really cool. So they're going to need to update this and change this if they're going to want this to be successful. We have a comment. I tried to be a why not person. Could be great, could be bad, but you took a chance. The journey is the best part of the destination. We could be seeing Kiss lyrics come to life. Think of what they could do with God of Thunder. Look at War Machine, that footage of the army and tanks and dragons. Now Kiss can show you what the songs can look like. We could finally get a full Elder experience. The sky is literally the limit. So this comment is one of my favorites because, I mean, absolutely. I tried to also be a why not person, you know, because if you're a why not person, you know, you're open to experiences, you're open to new things, you're not so closed-minded, which I'm not saying you have to be open-minded to this. Again, I don't care what you think. Maybe I just care how you think it. But again, you can think what you want. That's totally fine. But I like this approach. I like the open-mindedness. Again, if it sucks, it sucks. If it sucks, I'll never mention it again on this channel. Because I don't have time for things I don't like. I don't talk about things that I don't like because I don't have time to talk about things I don't like. I'm too busy liking the things I like. Hence Kiss. That's why I talk about Kiss a lot. I love Kiss. But anyway, so yeah, I think there's a really good point here. We could be seeing lyrics come to life. You know, taking the Kiss songs and making animated music videos out of them with Kiss doing things that Kiss as we know could never do. That to me is really exciting because, yeah, you know, that video of War Machine is the perfect example. When I first saw that on the tour playing on screen, I was absolutely mesmerized. It made me think of Attack of the Clones, you know, Star Wars Episode 2. I was like, dude, this is cool. It's like, that was like Kiss meets Star Wars for me, was that War Machine video. And so, yeah, they're doing some really cool stuff, or did some cool stuff with God of Thunder on this and the road tour. So, you know, they're just going to keep doing that kind of stuff, you know, and they should, you know, make it the most Kiss it can be, make it the most over the top, but still tasteful. You know, there's a fine line, which I hate that because, you know, go crazy, but don't go too crazy, you know, do it right. But, you got to, you know, find that line and write it. But I think they will. I think they're going to work out all the kinks. I love this comment, the lyrics coming to life, having songs that we hear, now having songs that we can see. That's awesome. That's a great way to approach it. We have, I was not impressed at first with the Avatar idea, but instead of dismissing it like so many people, I've looked into this more detail. What we saw was the culmination of roughly 3 months' work. The teams working on this, ILM and Pop House, are the same ones who put together the ABBA show, which looks very impressive. So I think we have to give them the chance to show us how good this can be. One problem I can see here is where it would be possible, you know, where is it possible to go see this? It's been said that the shows could be taking place on 3 different continents at the same time, but ABBA had to build a purpose-built arena in London to house all the equipment needed to produce the show. I would love to see this be a success and for my grandkids to carry on the family membership of the Kiss Army. So, great comment there. I love that. You know, you weren't impressed, but you're not dismissing it. You're kind of just, you know, waiting to see. I think that's a pretty good stance to have, especially if you're not for it. You know what I mean? As opposed to being angry and writing it off, you may just kind of look at it and say, look, right now, maybe not, but we'll see. I do think you have some good points here as far as where can we see this. Yeah, you are right. The ABBA show had an arena or a facility, a venue that was built just for this. It wasn't a traveling thing. It's a destination. It's in London. People have to come to it. It's like a tourist thing. So, yeah, I think it wouldn't surprise me if what they do with Kiss's show is way more mobile. Because, yes, the CEO did say that there could be 3 different shows on 3 different continents happening at the exact same time. And so that to me makes me think that they're already thinking about mobilizing this, or at least having, you know, more than one system, which they should. I'm going to liken this to kind of like Tony Stark, Iron Man. Every time Tony makes a new Iron Man suit, its enhancements are based on previous limitations, previous failures. I love that storytelling device. You know, it's very relevant in, you know, real life and how mankind has evolved over time with technology. And so I think, the whole time they're building this ABBA set, which is probably a prototype, or at least just a model one, one model. As they were building this, and once they finished it, they were probably thinking of, how do we make this better, and how do we move forward the whole time. So I'm sure they were thinking, like, look, this is in one spot right now, but how do we get this to be either more mobile, or how do we make more than one devices? So yeah, I think that it is definitely interesting to see how they're going to package it as far as the venue. I hope it's a success too. If I had to, the ABBA, I'll be honest, I had not seen that much of the ABBA show. I had no idea that ABBA even did this until Daphne mentioned it. She's like, oh, okay, so something like ABBA's doing, but on crack. I was like, wait, what? What's ABBA doing? So she kind of talked me through it a little bit as far as what ABBA was doing, and I was like, whoa, okay, gotcha. So we're doing some like actual futuristic stuff here. And I'm sure what they do with KISS is going to be even far beyond. It's almost like this ABBA was the guinea pig, and they're going to apply all of that to KISS and just take it to the sky's the limit. If I had to make some sort of weird analogy, perhaps ABBA and their production is like a 90s or 2000s home phone where it's cordless and it has caller ID and all this fancy stuff, but still requires a dock and a separate machine for voicemail. And so if that's ABBA, the home phone of the 90s, maybe KISS will be like the cell phone, where it's more mobile and you can do more things, more robust. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I definitely can expect KISS's to be way different, way better, more intense than what ABBA is doing. But again, time will tell. We'll see. My thoughts about the avatars. When they came out into the fog, I got goosebumps. I love things like that. Comics and animes, graphics and PC games too, but I can't play them very well. First thing I checked out were the clothing of the avatars. Amazing. Yeah, I liked the clothing too. Again, this very well rendered. As far as the how they were designed, it seems like there's a couple different versions. You have the more lifelike versions, and then you have the more animated, like superhero, just kind of like generalized Star Child, if you will, demon and all that. So, but I too love comics and animes and PC game graphics and all that, and so that's kind of what I'm excited to see is how they take it, not just with the new avatars, but other properties and other things. I would love to see them license KISS's image to a Japanese animation studio, and we get 2 seasons and a feature film of like the most epic anime, KISS anime, that you've ever seen. I think that'd be great. I've already mentioned video games, KISS video games, so that could be really cool too. As a matter of fact, I'll go this far. And this is something that Jeb mentioned too. Jeb and I, before we did this episode, or before we were going to, had a short conversation via text, and he said, dude, they need to put these KISS avatars in Mortal Kombat and part of the fighting game. And I was like, dude, that would be sweet. Mortal Kombat was the very first video game Jeb and I played, whether that was smart or not, for better or for worse. It was the very first video game we played. In fact, Quan Chi is my favorite character because he looks like he could be a member of KISS. And so in this new Mortal Kombat, they just released the 12th installment in the main series. And what they've done over the last several installments is had a lot of really cool integrations with other properties and other characters that look like, feel like Mortal Kombat, or that appeal to a very similar demographic. And so the first one I can think of was in '08 when they did Mortal Kombat versus DC. You had literally the most iconic Mortal Kombat characters fighting against the most iconic DC characters, and it was like a total, mind bend. Like, wait a minute, whoa, this is possible? We can do this? And I think over the times they've had Leatherface, Jason Voorhees. Right now they have Omni-Man and even John Cena, Peacemaker. So, I mean, it's not a far-off thought to think, they should put the Demon, man, in Mortal Kombat. Could you imagine his fatality? It would be the sickest fatality of all time. And, that way KISS fans, can get on the online servers and we can troll everybody by kicking their butts with the members of KISS, and they got to deal with it. Or the KISS haters, if they need to get some stress out, they can go beat up the members of KISS in the fight. That's the downside, though, is that if they're going to put KISS in the fighting game, you're going to see the members get beat up. But again, it's all just fantasy superhero stuff. But either way, I think one aspect of this going forward is brand integrations. We're seeing that a lot right now with, again, video games and just different properties. I mean, Kiss has done this a lot too. I mean, even 10 years ago, they were doing the Kiss and Hello Kitty for the younger female audience, and then they had Kiss and Family Guy for the Family Guy audience, if you like Family Guy. And they've always done different things like that. They did a Kiss Marvel run a few years ago. Maybe we'll see more of the Kiss Marvel stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But I think brand integration is going to be key here as well, because anytime you can do crossovers and reach out into other markets and other audiences and sort of like pick up on that, that's brilliant. You know what I mean? I know people who are, and I've heard of people who are fans of both Kiss and Mortal Kombat. How cool would it be to have a member of Kiss appear in Mortal Kombat? And if that's not your thing, that's fine. I know I could sound really dumb and really weird. Like, we're so far removed from music, it's not even funny. I get that. But I think that there's a lot more to Kiss than just the music. And again, if they're going to do a Kiss video game, it could be music-based or have the music in the background. Whatever they want to do, I'm open to, because I think as long as, ILM is, responsible, taking responsibility, they're nourishing this and putting some actual love into it, we're going to get some incredible stuff that Gina Paul couldn't even think of. So let's see, how are we on time? We're at an hour right now, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see. These have been pretty positive so far, these comments, which is very nice. So we did get some negative comments here. So here's a comment that says, the absolute worst thing they could have done is what they've done with this Avatar crappy Kiss thing they did. Absolutely sucks. And this is coming from a diehard day one fan. That reveal was so bad. I hope it's good going forward. I will never write them off, but this next phase of Kiss better be damn good. I agree. I do agree with you on that. If they're going to commit, they got to commit. And, if they're going to push this as the new Kiss, the new era, then, you don't have a lot of room for errors here. So I do agree with you there. Never forget that as fans, that makes us investors into the Kiss Corporation and or shareholders. And as shareholders, do we not have a say in the corporation? Well, I mean, yeah, we do have a say in the corporation a couple different ways. I mean, obviously, we can leave our comments online. We can say our opinions on podcasts and things like that. Hopefully, there's somebody out there listening and being attentive that actually cares about fan input and would, want to take that in consideration. So, yes, I mean, as far as having a say in the corporation, we can voice our opinions in any way we want to, online, in video, keyboard warriors in the comment section. We do have a voice, and we also have our money. I think our money is our biggest voice, you know what I mean? So if this Kiss Avatar experience sucks and people pay a bunch of money in the beginning, but there's no continued sales, then that's a red flag. And that's hey, okay, there's something that's not bringing folks back. There's something that they saw that they didn't like or that they didn't see that they should have. And so what is that? Those things are indicators of a much bigger problem. If this is a big sellout and then it's another sellout and it just keeps selling out, that's how they know that, hey, this is a good thing that we're doing and this is going to, continue on. So yes, it's a little bit, I don't know. I don't think we have, as shareholders should have a say in the corporation, but as fans, we do have a very, very big say in what goes on as, diehard fans, as customers, consumers. So, I do see some of the negative comments, some of the resistance, the reveal, like I said a minute ago, the reveal could have been handled a lot better. I do think it would have been really odd, though, just to have, if they didn't do the reveal then and waited until next year to do it, I think that would have been bad. Could you imagine Kiss performing Madison Square Garden and they do a by-the-books Kiss show and don't at any point offer anything new, anything to, look forward to, anything to, hold on to, nothing, just good night, pyro goes out, lights go off, that's it, that would be just silence. That would be terrible. There were a lot of fans who were disappointed with how that show played out. I think it would have been even more disappointing if there was just nothing. If it was just quiet, that's it. But no, we have something to look forward to. And love it or hate it, we're all invested. Love and hate it, we're all invested. But I love all the comments, positive, negative. Some folks are on the fence. Some people are all in. I love it. I think it's cool. We've gotten a lot of fan comments and fan perspectives. But what does Ace think? What does Ace think about all this? So Ace had a comment and came out and said that it was geared towards children and it was not very rock and roll. Well, I tell you what, as far as not being rock and roll goes, I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of folks said about 4 guys wearing makeup in '73. That's not rock and roll. I'm sure folks still say that. That's not rock and roll. This Avatar thing, oh, that's not rock and roll. Kiss has always been considered, not rock and roll or, something like that. So I do respect Ace's opinion and I respect his stance because he was saying, like, look, man, I get up on stage, I plug in my amp, I plug in my guitar, and I just go. I just play. It's about the music for me. It's just straight ahead rock and roll. I do love that about Ace, and he's absolutely right. He does what he does, and he stays in his lane and does it great. Kiss, they like to move outside their lane, and they like to go big. And so I know that there's a lot of fans that are just, maybe not sure or maybe even confused. But I found it very odd when Ace said that it wasn't rock and roll, seeing as he was the lead guitar player in a band that looked like, space drag queens or something. And as far as the children thing goes, I think I mentioned that earlier. Like, yeah, that's the best market to hit is the kids because, children have an imagination that we adults just can't have. We're too jaded. We've lived life. We know life sucks. We've seen the real world. We've seen the people in it, and it ain't pretty. And so, little kids, though, they just see the world, as it is. When I first saw Kiss watching the last Kiss pay-per-view, I thought, oh, okay, so all bands are like this. This is just music. Come to find out that all bands don't look as cool or even, sound as cool as Kiss does. So that was like a wake-up call for me. So, kids, man, they have an imagination that, we wish we could still have. I try to maintain that because, Kiss, capture my imagination in the realest way. So, again, the kids are the ones that's going to continue it on. We hear Gene talk about all the time, though there's the 5-year-old on his dad's shoulder. That was me. I was literally that 5-year-old wearing the demon makeup on my dad's shoulders at my first Kiss concert. And look where I'm at now. 20 years later. And it's because Gene and Paul continued on with Kiss because Tommy and Eric were loyal and were fans of the band and were professional and dedicated to, to keep that going. The reason why I am the fan that I am is because I've seen Kiss 16 times. I've been to expos. I've gotten to live my own history. I'm sure Kiss would have still been, a big influence in my life, perhaps even my favorite band. Had they, at the farewell tour, had they actually left and not done any more tours, any more albums, I'm sure I still would have been a Kiss fan. They captured me from the very first beginning. That was my first band. That was the first music I ever consciously heard was Kiss. So, Kiss has always had a big stamp in my life, but would it be the way it is right now without having that Kiss experience live on and continue on? I don't know. I can't say. But you know what? I'm glad I had it. And I hope that if there is a kid who saw their first show, their first Kiss concert on this last Kiss tour, that they would want to go to that Kiss virtual experience and, get to share that with their parents again, or somebody who, maybe didn't get to see Kiss on these last handful of tours and wants to go see Kiss live, see the Kiss experience. They can take their kids to go. And that way, fans can still hear those songs. I think what Kiss is trying to do is keep Kiss as relevant as possible. And that's all they've always done. When they took the makeup off, it was because the makeup had run its course and it was better to take it off and, use that. The makeup was kind of their marketing. Nobody knows what we look like behind the makeup. It's a source of mystery. Well, now we can reveal and, pull back the curtain and, use that as, that's why Lick It Up, I think, sold so much. Yes, the album was great, but nobody's going to care about your really good album if they don't have a reason to go buy it. You know what I mean? So an album can be good and a movie could be good, but if nobody listens to it or watches it, then what good is it? So you have to get people, involved and invested. And Kiss has always done a really good job at keeping people in. The reunion tour, in the 90s, the live concert experience was just in a rut. Grunge had kind of killed a lot of the live music scene, and a lot of the bands that had been around, classic bands, were starting to have a real hard time. Bands like Kiss, and it was a tough time. And so Kiss, what do we do? How do we, stay relevant? How do we bring people back to our shows? Well, let's get the original four back together. We'll recapture everybody's childhood. We'll put together that show again, and we'll try and recapture that, and try and do something for the fans. How do we do the most for the fans, and how do we make this the best for ourselves? That's what Kiss is doing. How do we keep Kiss going? How do we make fans happy? And this is no different to me. So as far as Ace and the comments about the kids, I mean, how many kids are going to be Ace fans in 5 years? I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be, but unless Ace can come up with some model in some way to appeal to children, I don't know. So I think what Kiss is doing is very, very smart in a lot of ways, and I don't even think we've seen the full extent yet. So I'm like most people. I'm not writing it off yet. I'm very hopeful. I'm very optimistic. This is not the first time they've done this. There's a reason why this has been sitting here in the corner, just kind of subconsciously there. They actually had a thing called Kiss Immortals back in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, where they had animated Kiss performing a rock and roll concert, getting sucked into a vortex, into an alternate dimension, and they have to fight some evil entity. And yeah, they voiced their own characters.
Damn it! This better be a bad dream.
It was a 3D CG animated project. It was shown on little mini webisodes on a streaming platform. How many people do you know in the 90s were watching 3D CG animated television shows on streaming websites? It wasn't a thing, So I feel like, the technology has finally caught up with Kiss. And they're trying to, do what they were doing in the late 90s, but do it for real this time, And a lot of people want to say how, how not Kiss this is, or how not rock and roll this is, or whatever. I want to just bring up something from the man himself, Bill Aucoin. So I recently came across this video again, and I've heard it many times and seen it many times, but I feel like I just watched it for the first time now that Madison Square Garden is over and the avatars have been revealed. I saw this clip pop up because Kiss fans were talking about it and how relevant it is. So I'm going to play this video for you real quick of Bill Aucoin around 1980.
But then the secret of any slick business is to plan ahead.
Well, I think for KISS, what we're trying to do is, and we'll move into other areas, into feature films and into animation, and what we'll try to do is we'll try to bring the creation of KISS, the fantasy, the characters themselves, the superhero characters, into a place where they'll stand on their own. I'm not talking about the physical human beings, that could last forever.
I mean, how spot on was... I've got like goosebumps. That was like so spot on about how, he pretty much predicted the future. Like, no, this is what we want to do. We want to take KISS beyond what people know, beyond what people can even fathom KISS is. Even Gene and Paul. I think we give, KISS fans give Gene and Paul way too much credit sometimes. Gene, Paul, Peter, and Ace, just the only thing those guys wanted to do was be career musicians. All those guys wanted to do was get on stage and play music for people. And because they lived in New York, they started to look like some of those New York bands with the drag, the more androgynous look. And when that didn't work, they created their own look based from that. And now they just stand out from other bands. That's really what KISS, at least from what I gathered as a KISS fan this whole time, that's to me, just in a nutshell, what KISS is and what KISS did. You know what I mean? They got together and created a look that nobody had ever seen or done to that level, and wanted to make their shows the most extreme and the most entertaining that they could possibly be. And all of a sudden Bill Aucoin walks in, having not seen anything, right, and goes, whoa, okay, no, I'm seeing like now Gene Paul, think big picture. Think beyond Gene Paul, Peter, and Ace. Look at what could actually be. See, with Bill, we started, that's when, we started getting the KISS comic books in 77, and then all the KISS merchandising. Gene and Paul couldn't have never thought of that. They did, a lot of folks actually think, this is how people are not KISS fans. I hear people all the time, people say, KISS never wanted to be an actual band, knew they never could be an actual band. They sucked at their instruments and singing and writing songs so bad that they created the superhero characters as a gimmick and as a way to fake themselves being musicians and fake there being a band and use that as a vehicle to sell merchandise and to market themselves and move away from music and into this much larger. That's what you're giving Gene and Paul way too much credit, people. That's a lot to think. Now, Gene and Paul are very smart guys, especially 50 years on. But it seems like to me with this Avatar, Gene and Paul, Doc, ILM, whoever, they're wanting to fulfill Bill's vision for the band. I think I made an Iron Man reference, Tony Stark reference earlier. I'm going to use a Howard Stark reference here. I feel like Bill Aucoin was like Howard Stark. He was like, I know what can be done, but I'm limited by the technology and resources of my time, so I give this to you. Take it and do with it what needs to be done. So that's to me how I envision it. Is Bill Aucoin knew he saw the future and knew that this was beyond Gene, Paul, Peter, and Ace, beyond even Gene, Paul, Eric, and Tommy, beyond everybody, the humans. And he even said, the physical. This is going to go beyond the physical human form. We're going to, embed KISS into, other areas. And just that to me, watching that clip, especially like in 2023, knowing what's going to happen in 2024, is mind blowing. Bill would be beside himself. People think that it was a disgrace that KISS didn't mention Bill and Neil and everybody at the final show. If they did that, Bill would come back and say, what are you doing? What are you doing breaking character? What are you doing, breaking the mold? You're KISS. You're superheroes. Be KISS. Go out there and be fearless and do exactly what you're meant to do. So I think there's a reason why, KISS made the choices they did and are making the choices they did. And I think that they are honoring Bill's vision for the band in the realest way. I don't know what you guys think, but I do want you guys to leave me your comments. I've went through several of just some comments here. I mean, we could keep going, but it's already an hour and 15 minutes in, almost. So those are just some initial thoughts, questions, and concerns that you guys had. I felt some of the same things, actually. It was kind of nice. You guys and I were all kind of on the same page about, well, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do that? What would that look like? And so that's really cool. And that's all I wanted to do, was just talk about this stuff with you guys. I am thirsty, so give me one moment. So yes, leave me your thoughts on the KISS avatars. And I'm going to now show some new KISS merch. Just one thing this week. I do want to show something that I just got recently. This is super, super cool. I never thought I would ever own this. So let's check this out. Let me get it for you. Okay, so I just recently got this KISS poster from the KISS convention that took place in Indianapolis in '95. So I'll be honest, I have no idea if this is an actual print from there. I mean, I can see where there's a small rip and some small folds and bends up there. Otherwise, it's a pretty cool poster, but I still don't know if that, I mean, I'll be honest, the print is really, really good. Not that printing sucked in '95, but like just the paper itself feels a little new. I bought it from eBay for $20, so it very well could be a reproduction. I don't know that I care, just because, my parents were at this event. I was only a couple months old, and so I obviously didn't get to go to this, the actual official KISS convention, but my parents did. And so to have this poster, I even have their passes up there that they got signed by Gene at the event, and then my dad later on got them signed by all kinds of members, Tommy, Eric, Ace, Bruce. So I have my parents' passes from the KISS convention, but now I have this really cool poster from the event. So like I said, not sure if it's an actual poster from '95 from that event, but either way, it's just cool to have this because it is a memento and a reminder of that event that happened, in my hometown, or not my hometown, but my home state. So yeah, there you go, KISS convention poster. Really, really super cool there. One thing I did want to do, I meant to do this earlier and I kind of spaced it, but what I wanted to do was actually, speaking of posters, show you guys a couple of my favorite artist renderings of KISS, because obviously, we're going into a virtual experience here, and even though they are based very much in actual physical KISS, they are at some point going to take some liberties with this. I mean, we got that really dope hero shot in the opening trailer, so so I love what they're going to do with the superhero aspect, and so I thought it'd be cool to show just a couple quick of my favorite artist renderings of KISS. And so first, I mentioned this when I did the Psycho Circus anniversary video. I talked about that shot glass that we have. With this artwork, here's a much bigger, you might have a reflection of my computer and the ring light there. But anyway, so here's the poster right here with this super wicked sick artwork, man. These are not superheroes. These are almost like villains. The way they look very evil. I mean, look at the demon right there. That's so crazy. The smirk and on the spaceman's face, and I've never seen Paul look so angry. Paul's always got a smile or a pose, pouty lips and like that. So I just love the way they look here. Very, very, very animated, larger than life, very superhero, very comic book. So I would like to see some artwork like this at some point. Maybe we'll even get more comic books. I mean, I don't know if it's just going to be an Avatar experience. I mean, like I said, I would love to see a KISS anime, a KISS, TV show, or, whatever they want to do, as long as it's, it's cool, it's rooted in KISS, and it does justice to the brand, to the band, to the legacy, to the characters, and to the fans. I'm all for it. I think it's really, really cool stuff. So that was one thing I wanted to show, and then the last one is this one right here. So this one is super, super sweet. I hope it looks okay. I know there might be a little bit of a glare, but this is some super sick artwork right here. This actually is the artwork from one of the most recent KISS comic books that came out maybe in 2019. I'm not sure. I bought this at one of the last KISS expos I went to from the artist himself. You can see his autograph there. I wish I could remember his name, although I'm sure it's not that hard to find. But he did this artwork here, and I just love everything about it. First of all, the minimalistic approach to it. From where you're standing, it probably looks really, really good. Once you get up close, you can sort of see the more abstract nature of the faces, but it's still very much Demon, Star Child, Catman, Spaceman. And in fact, I love that. I love the simplistic nature of the overall design. The fact that they're mostly hidden in the shadows. Like, you can't even see any detail hardly on Jean's outfit, Jean's armor, but you can see the silhouette, you can see the spike, so it's awesome, it's cool. I love the background, the fog, the mist, the stars up top. Everything about this is dope. And again, this is the actual print without the KISS whatever logo, barcode, text. But I had to buy this poster of the artwork by itself from the actual artist, because I do appreciate really cool KISS artwork. And so I'm hoping, because there are so many awesome, talented artists nowadays. I mean, you look at Into the Spider-Verse. Imagine if there was an Into the Spider-Verse KISS movie. I mean, the sky's the limit with this kind of stuff. So, I don't want to bog us down too long and keep going too long. So I'm going to end it here, but not first without saying, again, speaking of posters, the KISSmas giveaway. Next episode, we will be announcing, Daphne and I will be announcing the winner of the 2023 KISSmas giveaway. Today, Friday, entries ended. This was the last day to enter. So thank you so much to everybody who entered. I think we have more entries this year than we have in the previous contest, previous giveaways, which is great. Thank you guys so much. So stay tuned to next time. What's going to happen is at the end of that episode, next time, the KISSmas special, Daphne and I will draw a name. As a matter of fact, right here are all of your names. And then here is the Star Child Firehouse hat. So I'm going to go ahead and just put all of your names right there in the hat. So next week, we will draw a name. We'll draw 3 names because we have 3 prizes to give away this year. And we will announce the winners on the show, and then we will comment replying to the winning comment saying, hey, you won. Send us an email with your address, and we'll get these shipped to you. And so you have 48 hours to respond. If we don't get a response from the winner, then obviously we'll just do another draw a name, and we'll contact that winner, and we'll just keep going until somebody claims. So if you entered the giveaway in the last episode, be sure to watch the next episode 79. That way you can be sure to see if you won one of the 3 prizes. I will, again, just quickly remind everybody what those prizes are. So we have Kiss Alive on cassette as one of our prizes, our 3rd place prize there. You could be winning Kiss Alive. You could also be winning this Kiss magazine, one of 3 that came out, the new magazines that came out in 2023. So if you did not get this magazine, you missed out. Here's your chance to get it. And then we also have, for the 1st place prize, this Kiss poster. You can see Paul's eyes right there. I'm not going to unroll it because I did last time. I don't want to have to unroll it. It is a used poster. You can see a small bin there. It does have tackles. Look, guys, it's free Kiss merch. You can't complain. But anyway, so yeah, these prizes could be yours if you entered the KISSmas giveaway. Stay tuned to next episode. We will be announcing the winner. We will comment, replying to the winner's comment saying, hey, send us your address to our email, and then we will get that sent to you. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on this episode 78. I'm going to go ahead and close this. This has been a long one, but a good one. I really do appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. And so leave your guys' thoughts and comments on whether your thoughts have changed. You know, what were your immediate thoughts versus your thoughts now? Are you for it? Are you against it? We will talk more about this, I'm sure, in the future, in the coming months as this rolls out. But for now, it's just been fun kind of speculating on, you know, what could be. So thank you guys so much for being willing to listen to me blab for over an hour, almost an hour and a half about Kiss. There's nobody here with me. It's just you guys. I love being here with you guys, man. Thank you guys so much. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'm bringing episodes pretty much every week now. We also have other non-Kiss related videos, or non-podcast videos. It's all Kiss. That's why it's called Kiss Army Things. But we have non-podcast videos as well as podcast episodes. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, where we have even more Kiss content. We're thinking about, in 2024, we're trying to think of ways to grow. And you guys are so awesome. You guys have no idea how cool it is to read your comments and to do things like the KISSmas giveaway and all that. So we're trying to think of more ways to get involved and more ways to have fun. One thing we're thinking of is doing a Patreon. I don't know if you guys have heard of Patreon, if you're for that, if you're against that. If you guys would be up for a Kiss Army Things Patreon, there's a reason why I asked this at the end. Because I refuse to ask people for their money. That's not why I'm doing this. But I want to, do more. And so I want to, provide more and entertain you guys and engage with you guys. And so if you guys would be interested in the Kiss Army Things Patreon, let me know in the comments what you would think. I'm thinking we could do live videos on Patreon, maybe more giveaways, things like that, bonus videos and bonus content that I will not post on YouTube, collection videos, and Kiss, I don't know. We'll see. You guys let us know. I want to do what you guys want to do. So if you guys have any ideas and things, let me know in the comments. Because, yeah, we want to do a Patreon and maybe raise some money to go to Vegas. Daphne and I haven't had a proper vacation in a while. And I don't know how long that Kiss experience, that Kiss Museum, Kiss World is going to be in Vegas. And so that would be super cool to take my wife to Vegas and have that cool experience, and then for us to go visit Kiss World, the Kiss Monster mini golf, and of course make a video out of that, and just reinvest into the channel, into the show, and just make the best content that we can make for you guys. 2024 is going to be amazing. And so thank you guys so much for being here and for wanting to grow with us. And so we've gotten a lot of new viewers and subscribers this year. It's really fun. It's really positive. So let's keep it going, guys. If you want to be on that journey with us, please like and subscribe. Let us know if you want to see a Kiss Army Things Patreon, where we do more live videos and things like that. That would be super awesome. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I got to work tomorrow. So, yeah, you guys have a great morning, a great noon, a great afternoon, a great evening, a great night, whatever it is. I appreciate you being here. Kiss Army Things. My name is Zammer. My name is Xander. Peace out.